Hello and welcome to this quick start guide for Granblue Fantasy. This will be the first of a series of guides that I'm going to be doing for GBF. Maybe you're curious about the game after playing Granblue Fantasy Versus, or perhaps you've heard about GBF from a collaboration it's doing with a game or an anime franchise you really like. Either way, this video's got you covered. I'm going to go over everything from making an account, starting the game, and a brief overview of the Gacha system as well. I've marked out all the relevant chapters, so feel free to skip around to the information that you need. So, getting right into it, how do you actually get the game? Unlike most mobile games, Granblue Fantasy is a Chromium-based game, which means that you don't need any app installations or anything like that. You just need to go to the website on any Chromium-based browser. The link's on the screen there and in the description below. Just as a side note, your account creation date does determine something called the beginner's draw set, but more on that in a later section. Once you go to the link, you're going to be met with this page. You'll get maybe slightly different artwork, but it'll be the same general layout. Make sure you scroll down and you click this drop down here and change it over to English. Once you do that, you can click the new game button here, and then you'll be told to agree to the terms of service. Make sure you read this very carefully and don't do what I did, which is skip it because it's in Japanese. Anyways, you click agree, click OK, and then you'll be able to choose your gender. Now, this setting isn't too important because you'll be able to change it at any point. So pick whichever one you feel like and then click start. Once you finish the tutorial, you'll be met with this screen here. I recommend choosing the option on the left, which is to create a mobile game account. Once you do that, you'll be met with this screen here, and here you'll want to enter your email in the bottom box. Once you do that, a verification code will be sent to your email, so once you get that, enter it into this spot here. After that, you'll have to create your username and your password, also enter your birth date. Now, the birth date that you set here is actually sort of important because Japanese law prevents individuals under the age of 20 from spending more than 10,000 yen per month, so do keep that in mind. But once you've made the account, you're free to play the game. That's it. Next, I'll be covering the Gacha system, how it works, how to reroll if you want, and what pools to look out for, and what to do with the items you get from the Gacha. In GBF's Gacha, you can pull either weapons or summons of rarities R, SR, and SSR. For the most part, only SSRs are used in GBF, but early on, when you're still filling out your roster, SRs or even Rs can help you out. Now, you might be asking, if the Gacha only has weapons and summons, where are the characters? Well, the answer is that every character is tied to a certain weapon, meaning that if you pull a weapon, you will get the associated character with it. As an example, on the screen here, I have Light Clarice and her weapon, which is the Fusion Mobius. So if you pull Fusion Mobius from the Gacha, you'll get Clarice alongside it. Now, since the character and the weapon are linked together, it's a common misconception to think that you need to level up or even use the character's weapon to make the character stronger, but those two things are independent from each other. Pulling dupes of a character will give you an additional copy of their weapon, as well as a bronze, silver, or gold moon, depending on their rarity. These can be used to buy really useful items from the shop. As a new player, hoard any moons that you might get for the time being. There is no bonus currency that you get when pulling duplicate summons though. For now, keep any stuff that you get from the Gacha in your crate. More on this in the inventory management section later. Unlike many other games, GBF only ever has 2 banners to pull on at any given time. The premium draw, which you can get to by clicking the draw button on the home screen, and the classic draw, which you can get by clicking tickets and other, and then clicking on the classic draw tab. The difference between the 2 banners is that the classic draw contains older SSR summons and units. The contents of the classic draw gets updated every couple years, so be sure to check out the wiki or this in-game notice here to see what's available. The premium draw, on the other hand, is where everything new goes. New characters, new summons, new seasonals, new limiteds, they all go into this banner. But that's not it. The premium draw is where galas also happen. As a baseline, both Classic and Premium Draw have a standard SSR rate of 3%. However, twice a month, sometimes more, the SSR rate increases to 6%. This only happens on the Premium banner and not the Classic banner. These periods are known as Flash Gala and Premium Gala. Flash Gala occurs near the middle of the month, while Premium Gala, also known as Legfest, occurs on the last day of the month. Outside of a few exceptions, these galas will always introduce new SSR characters or summons. On top of this, there are limited characters such as Grand or Zodiac characters that are only available during these periods. You can see the full list of Grand units available in Flash and Legend, respectively, on the screen, as well as the Zodiacs. Note, the Zodiac characters are only available during Legfest and will rotate availability each month. As a general rule of thumb, unless the game is giving out free pulls, only spend your crystals or draw tickets on the premium banner during a gala. You can tell when there's a gala because the draw button will be yellow and the banner image will be a bit different too. Every single character that you can get normally is on the banner during a gala, as well as the special grand characters, as well as the Zodiac characters if it's a premium gala. As a reminder, the classic banner does not get boosted by these gala rates, so I don't personally recommend pulling on the classic banner. Like some other gachas, GBF also features seasonal characters. These characters are typically not available outside of their respective seasons on gala, so many people plan their sparks around these periods. So, what is a spark? A spark is basically Granblue's pity system. When you perform 300 pulls in the same banner, you are able to choose an SSR from the sparkable list to recruit. The sparkable button can be found right here. One very important thing to note about sparks is that they do not transfer across banners. It must be 300 pulls in the same banner. The banner change time is listed right here, and the time is given in Japan Standard Time. Now, while 300 pulls might sound like a lot of pulls to save up, Granblue is actually quite generous. As a new player, completing most forms of new content will reward you with a lot of crystals. As an example, there's an entire spark's worth of pulls waiting for you in the side stories section, right here. And if you ever reach the point where you've exhausted all the crystals from main stories and side stories and so on, playing the game and participating in the monthly events will still grant you upwards of 4 sparks a year. And this is not even including things like roulette, which is a type of free draw promotion that happens twice a year, where you can get a massive discount on your spark. As mentioned earlier, in general, you never ever want to pull on a 3% banner. Mathematically, on average, you will always get double the amount of SSRs 3% versus 6% on Gala, and you have the chance to pull a Grand or a Zodiac character as well. So save your pulls until there's a Gala that features characters that you want. Now personally, I strongly recommend saving 300 pulls before going in on a banner. You'll always get 1 extra SSR on top of whatever you get from your pulls, and being able to choose that SSR is really powerful. And a small piece of advice from someone who's made bad gacha decisions in the past. Of course there'll be times where you get lucky, but don't expect to get a character that's featured on the banner if you have any less than 300 pulls. If you have 50 pulls, that's not enough. If you have 100 pulls, not enough. 299 pulls, that's still not enough. You need 300 to guarantee it. Now, onto rerolling. As with most gacha games, rerolling isn't necessary to have a good experience. As a new player, you'll get given a lot of free pulls and there's a bunch of decent SSRs that are available completely for free. However, if you are more of a meta player, it is undeniable that rerolling for certain characters or summons may speed up your progression or save some headache later on. So knowing that, if you wish to reroll, here's what I would do. If you will stay purely free to play, start rerolling anytime you want. If you think you might want to spend some real life money in the game in the future, and you care a lot about meta or you want to guarantee that you get a certain character, probably wait for a Gala banner. I'll explain more about this very shortly. Depending on when you make your account, you might get more free rolls, but at a minimum, you will have 114 draws available on day 1. Follow the reroll steps listed on the wiki article linked in the description below. Now, GBF will IP restrict you if you attempt to make more than 10 accounts in a single day, but you can get around this by using a VPN, but don't tell anybody I told you that. The wiki page already lists out some SSRs to watch out for, but in general, look out for these summons here, and any character with the following tags. Not all the characters with these tags are necessarily meta, but they are all limited characters. You can get a very rough idea of character strength by looking at the tier list, which I've linked in the description. Now, I know that tier lists aren't and never will be 100% accurate, but as a new player, they're a good enough reference for a character's worth when you have no idea how the game works. Next up are 2 paid promotions that are offered to new players, the Beginner Draw Set and the new Skyfarer Step Up Special. These items are available for a week after your account creation date, but if you don't purchase them, they will return periodically again in the future, so don't feel compelled to buy them immediately. So first up is the Beginner's Draw Set. This is a special type of draw promotion that you can purchase for 3,000 MOBA coins. It comes with a 10 draw ticket that you can use on the premium draw at any time, and an additional pick ticket that allows you to choose almost anything that was available on the banner when you first created your account. For example, if there were summer characters on the banner when you created your account, they will be available in the Beginner's Draw Set as well. You can check what's available by clicking on this tab here, Use Ticket, and then you can go through what's available. This item is the only reason why you might want to delay your account creation process, especially if there's a unit you really want to guarantee at the cost of real money. Next up, we have the new Skyfarer Step Up Special. This is a heavily discounted paid spark. You're given 100 pulls for free and can decide to pay a total of 4,500 MOBA coins for an extra 200 pulls to complete the spark. The banner will be a snapshot of the most recent Gala banner. So, if the Gala banner was Flash, your available characters will be from Flash, and the same thing for Legend Gala. This banner is separate from the premium and the classic draw banners, so you cannot use your own crystals in this paid promotion. So now you have all these new items that you've pulled from the gacha and you're wondering what to do with all of them. The answer is nothing. Leave them in your crate for now. It might kill you to have this big number next to this present box and not picking any of it up, but trust me, just leave them in the crate for now. Your inventory space is really limited early on when it comes to weapons and summons, and the crate can act as a form of infinite storage. However, do feel free to move over to the other tab and pick up any items here, as the storage for these types of items is not limited. Also, make sure to pick up anything in the time limit tab if there are anything here, as these will expire after a set amount of time. Now, if you do happen to acquire any of the following items, a sunstone, a gold bar, or a Damascus bar, don't use them. Essentially, they're really valuable resources that are hard to come by, and you don't need them early on in the game. More on this in a future video. So you have your account now, and you're ready to set off on a grand adventure across the vast skies of the Granblue universe. But where do you begin? There's so many things to do, and it can be quite overwhelming. What I suggest is heading over to the party menu and clicking this handy dandy button found at the very bottom called Auto Select. This won't create the best party in the world or anything like that, but you'll learn that as you progress through the game, and I'll also cover it in a future video. Once you've finished making your party, I suggest jumping straight into the main story. Now there's 2 ways to go about this, reading through each chapter or by clicking the Swiftly Sail option. Swiftly Sail allows you to skip chunks of the main story. It will give you a summary of the events that have occurred so far, so you won't be completely in the dark if you choose to use it. You'll still get all the clear rewards like crystals and SSR weapons and quest unlocks, but you won't get any account rank points, known as RP, or character experience, EXP. Overall, the loss of RP and EXP is negligible, so if you don't want to fully read the story, don't feel pressured to. My personal recommendation is to start reading from about chapter 55, which is towards the end of Act 1. The events of Act 2 are important for Act 3, so I would suggest reading that also, but as mentioned before, summaries are given anyways, so it won't be a big deal if you end up skipping. You can also always decide to swiftly sail in the middle of a section if you aren't really enjoying it. At certain points in the story, you'll get given SSR weapons as a reward for completing the chapter. These items will go to your crate. It's okay to pick these ones up. You can tell which ones these are since they'll have some text which is similar to the image I'm showing here. As a reminder, leave any items with this sort of text alone in the crate for now. As you progress through the main story, you'll have the ability to host certain raids. go to the quest menu and go into the featured tab. If it's not there, it means you're already on it. It'll look something like this, the featured button there. And then from here, complete all the Act 1 boss showdowns. You can check which ones you've completed by going to the raid menu and then clicking the raid list in the top right, and then clicking on the 1-star. Once you've unlocked all of these, make sure you host them every single day. At rank 30, you'll be able to host the 2-star raids as well, so make sure you do those daily as well. Once you complete chapter 30 of the main story, you'll be able to unlock something called Arcarum, the World Beyond. You can find that by going to Amalthea Island, by clicking quest. I'm already on Amalthea Island, but it would be right here. And by clicking on this node up here, you'll be able to find this quest. By finishing this quest, will give you access to a new game mode. Now, Arcarum functions a little differently from the rest of the game. It doesn't use the AP or the stamina system of Granblue, but instead it uses something called Arcarum tickets or passports. These tickets are only replenished on reset, so you only get one per day, and each expedition takes one ticket. So the earlier you can get started in Arcarum, the better. Basically, Arcarum, once you start farming it and once you've collected enough resources, will allow you to craft really powerful summons, and later on they will even give you farmable characters as well. So it's a good idea to get started early on if you can. And that's everything for this guide. If you ever feel lost, try participating in whatever event is running at the time. You can find that below the quest button on one of these banners here, so we currently got this event running. You can also go to the pinboard missions and complete those. Those are found under gameplay extras and pinboard missions there. And also you can complete the Skyscope missions, which are found on the homepage, and clicking this missions button. These will provide a general roadmap and give you an idea on how to progress your account. I'll have more videos coming in the future as well that go more in depth on early game progression and how to farm events, and also any suggestions that you guys might have. So let me know in the comments or come by the Twitch stream. Thanks for watching, hope it was helpful, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.